Hello, hello. Hope all of you are having a great week so far. Now we just have the weekend to get through. I know this has been a busy week. I started out actually at a conference on Tuesday, Social Media Interactive, and so my whole week has felt rushed, but really productive. I was able to meet a lot of really cool people in Dayton, Ohio, and a lot of great ideas shared from presenters, which was cool. How's your guys' week going? Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine.
Good.
Doing fine.
All right. So, are you ready to go live on Facebook?
I am ready to go live.
All right. Let's do it. Connect it here real quick. Okay, just a moment. Almost done here. Sorry. How's your week going so far, Mike? I know you're 3/4 of the way done now.
Yeah. It's good to see a finish line in sight. And yeah, lots of just I guess a typical week, kind of all over the place in different places, different things. So
it's different when you start a conference off in the beginning of your week, because then you're like, wait, what day is it for the rest of the whole week?
Oh, absolutely.
But all right, well, I'm excited to dig in today, so I'll start kicking things off. Welcome everyone to This Week on Magnet Marketers, where our goal is always to help you become a magnet with your marketing versus being a bullhorn. I'm one of your hosts here, Jessica Phillips, with Now Marketing Group and the Relationship Marketing System, where our goal is to always help you create repeat referral business with your marketing. And my awesome co-host, Mike Gingrich, Digital Hill, the co-founder of the popular app Tabsite and Woftio, and also the nonprofit of I Give Global, where he lives and breathes by the philosophy of always being uncommon and always adding value. And he's sporting the purple today. I like it.
Right, there we go. Yes, got the brand.
Always on brand.
Brand color.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is a perfect segue into our topic today, as we're talking about going from boring to beautiful.
Purples.
With visual content, visual, just making it appealing, drawing people in, and some hacks to do that, and why it's important.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that as you and I kind of went through some of the research on this and looked at some of the things that are out there, it just reinforced to me. I mean, I've known this, but just reinforced again. And, hopefully we can help some small, medium-sized businesses out there, those who are just kind of thinking through, what can they do? Why should they do it? That this kind of solidifies the importance of it, but also gives you some practical ways that you can be involved in it.
Mm-hmm. You're right. So the reason why I wanted to kind of move this one back into the forefront for today is because coming from Social Media Interactive, which was a new conference held in Dayton, there were a lot of small business owners or newbies, I guess, to the social media space. They'd kind of been dabbling a little bit, but really trying to get more aggressive on it. And the common question that kept coming up is how to kind of spruce up their content and how to come up with resources to do it without having a graphic design team. Some of the things that we can take for granted because we have, go-to people to do this, or we've been in the space long enough to kind of know how to get what we need done creatively. Yep. So just bringing back those ideas and some things that maybe people have heard about, but the other ones that are newer apps that can really help you get things done seamlessly.
Yeah. And I mean, you just got to say, fortunately today, it's easier than ever for the non-designer to create some beautiful imagery.
You're right. Yep. And so like you said, when we were doing this research, I wanted to say, like, why is it important? Why shouldn't you just have the text and a link, in your post? And one of the stats that really, really stood out to me is that when people hear information, they remember only 10% of that information 3 days later. However, if there's an image, a relevant image paired with the same information, that retention rate jumps to 65% 3 days later. So I'm like, that's kind of a big deal, right?
That's huge. That's just an unbelievable stat, of what that means. And it kind of takes me back to school days and college days, and wow, maybe some of that could be useful. And I know that they're integrating more media into their presentations today, but just think about the need for that.
I know. I'm going to put a comment in here to the link of some more stats like that just is saying, like, this is definitely why this is important. I mean, just to have visual content as a whole.
10% retention to 65% retention.
3 days.
In a 3 time period, if there's a relevant image. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. So, I mean, think about that. Blog posts. We've traditionally thought of blog posts as content. It is going to have content. You need content for search engine optimization, but now it's important to note that for retention, for lasting impact, that part of your blogging package has to be some relevant imagery.
Yeah, and actually it increases your views 94% with relevant imagery, which is crazy. Which we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We were talking about how we noticed if we were posting content and then a link within social, but then adding a different image with it. So not just the image that's being brought up. I'm speaking Facebook right now, or Twitter, but just adding an additional image with that to help tell the story, that we were noticing that increase in visibility.
Yeah. Did you run some tests on that then?
We started doing it. Yeah. I haven't did the math on what the actual percentage is specifically on Facebook. We've noticed, definitely the increase of visibility and views. And we were trying to do it at different times a day, compared to, because some of the clients, we get into a rhythm. Okay, we know their hot times are 3 p.m. and, 1 p.m. on Saturdays or whatever, but let's just try to put an image here. Now let's try to put an image on the times that they're usually slow. So we're just kind of mapping it out right now and then bring it back together in a case study.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's just great because, I mean, I'm continuing to see when I share a image post versus a link post on Facebook, all right, I'm continuing to see about a 4-to-1 difference. So 4 times the reach for that post when it's an image post. So
that's awesome. When you talk, especially Facebook, I'll take it, the organic, that's really down. So definitely important. I mean, to use images, it helps tell the story. I mean, if you think about it, something that's going to capture attention, because people are so used to scrolling, and especially with, apps like Instagram that's in the mix, and, Pinterest that's in the mix. I mean, we're just used to kind of consuming content and understanding it with the images attached to it. So it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So
on social media, particularly already on Facebook. I mean, there's loads of time spent. Where do they spend the time? They spend the time in the news feed. What do they do in the news feed? They scroll, and so something has to capture the attention. I mean, you think about this, and you and I, we're web people, and when we talk about websites, we always talk about, how you've got 5-6 seconds to introduce that person and get them to stick on your website, but just think of what that time is in the Facebook newsfeed.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You've got a second? You got a second? Yeah. I mean, they're scrolling.
If it shows up, and there's scroll, and because that's one thing I try talking to clients. I'm like, you may have your information like on your actual page on Facebook, but people aren't necessarily going back there. They live in their newsfeed. I mean, think of how many brands and people that they're following that they may not see their content since the day they started following them, really. I mean, unless they're going back to that page or somehow it's that new content's getting introduced to their newsfeed that they're now engaging with it, and then they're going to start seeing it more, but they're not necessarily going back to the page that originated from. They're still sticking within that newsfeed stream.
Exactly. And
so it's
doing on a mobile device primarily. And so, I had someone ask me here recently, like how they prioritize, what they do. Like, should we be changing our I want you to talk about that great it was but their let's hold off. Don't even think about changing your cover image weekly, just something fresh there, because it's not as relevant. I mean, I guess that goes into the news feed wants to let somebody know that there's a new update, but better to talk about your content via a image post to Facebook.
Exactly. And keeping it relevant. So how about we break it down in this way? Like, I think it would be really helpful first, because one of the questions that came up a lot was, well, where do I get the images? Like, I know now that I'm not allowed to steal them off Google. And if you didn't know, now you do. You can't take them off Google, even if it does say, because I even had one person say, because I just started teaching at a university here, and one of the students said, well, I was told, though, if you go to no, it's fun, but it's interesting what the kids know too already. Like they said, well, I was told that you can go to Google Images and that you can click and say that there are some royalty-free, images within that. But then you're taken to a site that you don't know really if that's royalty-free images unless you're purchasing it, right? And getting the rights. And even then, even some of those apps aren't necessarily royalty-free. So they were going to Google, they were clicking within Google Images, to search the what's it called? The extended search button on there, and finding images and then using those. Well, we had one of the students that had used it in years past, though, and then got a letter because the client that they were working with, they actually got a letter from Getty Images.
Getty everywhere.
Yeah. I'm like, because it's incredibly easy. If people think, oh, I'm just a small fries compared to this large corporate Getty that, is having their images, they're never going to find me. But you can easily take an image, slide it into Google Images, and it'll show them everywhere else on the web where that image is listed. So it's really easy to find, actually. No matter how small, large, or whatever your business is, find out if you're using their image.
But we've got a resource treasure chest of locations where you can get images. So do you want to jump into that?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So of course, the best thing that you can do is start taking your own images. I mean, they don't have to be high production. Yes, those are great. Those are the best that you can get. But I've done things like simply like when we go to Social Media Marketing World, for example, one of the reasons I love going to Balboa Park is because of the images that I'm surrounded by. I mean, all the beautiful like scenery, right? So you just go out, you're experiencing a beautiful scenery. Maybe it's graffiti on a wall or wherever, take pictures on your phone and save them to your phone for later to be used in some kind of social post that's relevant. So think of the brand, the kind of the tone, the feeling that you're trying to get, and then use your own photos from your camera. And it's really quick, nice on the go. I can't even tell you how many times I've used it to, add words on top that we'll get into how to do that later. But take your own. And then there's a few other sites that we definitely recommend. I'll list one and maybe Mike will let you take over a few, but Unsplash is my favorite for.
But speaking of using your images, smile. Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. See, like this, right?
You can use and share it on Instagram. There you go. You can do things.
There you go. I should do that right now while you're listing the next one.
All right, now, okay, you said Unsplash. Okay, so Pixabay, pixabay.com, Pixabay.com.
Yes.
Another one
Pixabay.
that you can use, and just a good resource. I use Unsplash more than that, and like Unsplash, you can get on their emails and kind of alert you to some new things and things like that. What else do you want to add about Pixabay?
Pixabay doesn't have a whole lot, but they do have quite a few. And some of these stock photo sites, what they're for free stock photos, what they're actually used for. So they'll give you like, besides Unsplash has like a plethora of photos there. But a lot of these others that we're mentioning, like Pixabay, freestockphotos.org is another one. What they're used for is curating maybe a handful of 50 to 60 that they rotate in and out of, because their goal is that they're going to give you one that they're offering for free, but they're also going to be promoting one that they're that you can purchase from like Deposit Photos or iStock or whatever it is. So they're kind of using it as a portal to drive you into an actual subscription plan. But that being said, you can find images there that are free and royalty free that they're giving away.
Yeah. And do we want to go into some details of even the type of images? I mean, Unsplash, you can do. Yeah. You can do keyword searches, stuff like that. I mean, there's nature, there's beach, there's sunrise, sunset. Now, because when we're thinking of
even computers, in computers, phones,
mobile
people.
phone, those types of things, tech. And so, but the key is in this is that you're looking for some type of vivid imagery. It is, that's why sometimes it's good to you get beyond just thinking I need to share a product or something like that, and kind of going with that white background or whatever, some things that can capture attention, can draw somebody in, and it might not be about, it could be about an innovation. So you usually a tech type picture, the cityscape, that type of thing. So you have to think visually and creatively at the time to kind of expand on those boundaries. What captures somebody's visual attention?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And you don't want it to feel stock photo-esque. There is a good sense of people that when you see a stock photo and you can tell it's like, shiny smiling faces with the thumbs out, and it's very phony, that it honestly could hurt you versus help you, I would say. So make sure that you do use some abstract or something that is more, creates this feeling along with it that doesn't seem forced or phony.
It's not that high tech one with it has a white office space that looks kind of futuristic in a glass table with the guy in the suit, the guy in the gray suit, standing there, kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a list of them here. I'll post a link to a blog that we wrote that just has simply all of these listed there. And there's new ones popping up all the time. Right. The one thing to make sure that you're aware of, though, however, when you're using this site is that, Creative Commons attribution means that you need to make sure that they are royalty-free images, one, and that they're giving you the license to use it. And there are some stipulations, however. So if you were to use that image, for example, and try to put it on product packaging or something that you're selling, there may be some limitations. So make sure that you do, even if you're getting the image for free and they're saying that you can use it online, that you do see what the terms of using that image
Yep.
are, because you don't want to get into something again where you're paying or getting in trouble for using an image that wasn't attributed to the actual source.
Yep. And you know, you'll have this great list. I mean, there's others in there, freestockphotos.org. I mean, images.com. I mean, it's important to remember freeimage.com, and you know, for some more professional ones where you can get something even for $2 or something like that. I mean, I like photos. I can get some really nice things there.
I do too.
Yep.
You know, my favorite one that we actually just started using too is called 20 spelled out and then 20 the number.com. And what we were working with them on is they will actually go out and take photos for us for the feel and the client that we're needing. So we tell them what we're looking for. They'll bring us in the curated collection already, and then they'll also go take some pictures for us. So we use that a lot. They're a lot more expensive, so it's not like you're going to be using that every single day for a social post. But if you want it for a great marketing piece or something that's really going to stand out for you, because that's the only downside when everybody's using the free, you know, stock photos or stock photos in general, is that 3 or more people could have the same exact look or post or imagery, that it doesn't really tie back then to the brand itself. So if you do go outside and take your own pictures, spend money to have a photographer take it, or use a site like 2020, then you can literally be more on brand and have a kind of that creative edge to yourself. Yeah, those break down, I would say, anywhere from 50 to a couple $100 a picture. So Yep. Yeah. But now we have images. We know where we can get them, taking our own, pay for it, get some for free if we're just starting out. Now about bringing it into a design, because, you know, it is good sometimes just to have an image, but of course we want to have a little bit of text or a logo or something on there. And you don't have to have Photoshop in order to do designs. There are quite a few ways that you can get creative with it and do everyday social posts without needing a graphic designer.
I think offering a lot of images even there free, but the ability to customize those to easily add text. They have a number of font styles, so they make it easy to, you know, drag text around, resize, and then to export your image that's customized. So that's a tool I can definitely recommend.
Absolutely. And I think is the one that a lot of people are excited about, continue to be excited about, especially because they have a mobile version now too.
Yep.
And if you want to get a sense for what Canva can do, I mean, actually look at our timeline picture on our Facebook Magnet Marketers page. A lot of that was created using Canva.
Yep.
A lot of our posts are created using Canva. So you can get a sense for what it can do, but it really gets you through a lot of those day-to-day things that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, we even integrated it within TapSite. I mean, just we made it in there. So in your contest, you're trying to create that photo contest image, you can go into the Canva piece there, just to, you know, trying to make it easy for people, just because Canva is a great tool and they've made that available.
And thank you for that. Honestly, we just ran a couple TapSite contests. They went really, really well. And we grew, I think, 28 fans for that week contest. So it was really well received for this fan page. So thank you for integrating Canva. It helped us remember we forgot to create a thank you
image there.
Sign an image, because we just had the regular one, and it made it really easy to do that. So
very good.
Very cool. So another two of my favorites is Ripple, RIPL. Now you can do a lot with Ripple. It's very similar to Canva-esque, but they do have some templates, more templates, kind of bare bones, that give you more of the layout, but not the idea. So Canva already has something designed, and then you can change it and tweak it. This one has like the layout already ready for you, where you just plug and play your images. So that is a really cool tool. They do not have as many free options, but it does save you some time. And then Spark. I have not used Spark, but I've heard a lot of people love it. I've seen some things created in
by
Spark,
Adobe,
which is by Adobe.
And that's definitely a newer one to the market. And yes, it's kind of being a competitor in that space with a Canva, those types of things. But another tool, just trying to give you a bunch out there.
Yeah, and one thing, not to jump too far ahead, but Spark also does have some video options in it, which makes it really seamless to use if you're trying to create like multiple different pieces, one with an image, one with a video. And I have seen the videos, and those look really, really nice. Like they look like a professional did them.
Okay.
So,
and
the last,
I was just going to say that about that is uniqueness kind of with Ripple as opposed to Canva. I mean, Canva images, but Ripple, you be able to create some video aspects to that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of video aspects to it. And I've done those for short, like 30-second Instagram posts.
Yeah.
That makes it really fun. And Facebook, just to add it in. I've even seen it. Actually, Brian Carter has used it quite a bit in his advertising. So he's created Facebook ads that I've seen, and it's all done in Ripple, just quick little segments that are capturing attention. It's very fast movement, so it keeps that, attention focused on what's in front of them. And I thought that was really a unique way and a great way to maximize the ads spend that he's doing. So the other one I want to mention for Design App, if you are creating an infographic, so like, for example, the stats that we were mentioning earlier, if we wanted to create like a quick infographic, usually that sends up for small business. They're like, infographic means dollars because it takes a long time to create. But there's a site called Info, and I'm going to spell this out because their URL is very unique. It's infogr.am. So instead of the .com, it's .am, infogr.am. And that is an infographic template that you can use, change some things around, and make it infographics in there. You can also do that in Canva, but this one is again, kind of already pre-templated out quite a bit for you to make it go a little faster.
All right. Now, let's see. I just got a note on my audio. Am I cutting out for you, Jessica, as well?
You were earlier. I got a few every other word, but now you sound good to me. So
okay.
We can check with everyone else. Is the audio good now? I had Facebook open, so I closed it because I wasn't sure if it was just me, and it was because Facebook was out. So
yeah, audio is good at this point. Okay.
Good.
All right, good. I wanted to add one to the infographic, and that is Visme, visme.co, visme.co. And another infographic creation tool, templates, that type of thing. And I've worked with their team, done a few for Tabsite, and that's been a good experience, good tool that they continue to expand there.
I heard someone else mention that, I feel like, but I have not tried it. I want to check that out. Very cool. Okay, so video tools. So we mentioned Spark already. My other favorite video tool is Animoto. And the reason why, video, of course, that video is dominating all the social platforms right now, but Animoto allows you to create like quick images or blocks of video and create it branded to you. They add some transitions in there, some templates to where you can almost slide your images in, add background music, add some cool effects, all of that within Animoto. And it is a paid for tool, but it's well worth it, in my opinion, if you're going to want to introduce some video to your marketing.
Yep. Which again, I mean, we're talking the way it can capture attention and video as well. I mean, that's video is drawing people in, and particularly on social media sites. I mean, that's one of the big things. Obviously, we've talked about it again and again with Facebook, is just the fact that time spent is increasing when there's videos involved, and people, introducing your material, your content, your idea with video is just a tremendous asset nowadays that businesses need to be exploring.
Yeah, I'll give you a good example of this. So yesterday we worked with a nonprofit, and they're having their big fundraiser, which was a chicken barbecue fundraiser. And they had probably 65 to 70 photos that were taken like during that event. And that's a lot to put onto Facebook. But of course they wanted to feature everyone and, make everyone feel like they were, recognized for what they were doing and participating in it. but it would have been a lot to put all those pictures there. So we decided to take it and turn it into a video to publish and then do a big thank you. And then people are going to share it. We already know statistically it's going to get more views that way, and drive people back to the site.
There you go. All right, what do you want to move into now?
So you had a couple listed here. I'm just going to run through these. Video Shop and Video Hands. Are there anything you want to say about those before?
Well, and those I should maybe categorize under the mobile video apps. Okay, so smartphone use there. So Video Shop is one I love to use on my smartphone. And so basically, it allows you to do quite a bit, just enhance your videos so that you can take video, you can add multiple images and create a video out of that. You can add text on it. You can have a video and add a image to that video inside of the video. So that it just gives you, I've just done some simple things. I mean, it lets me, who is not anywhere near, a skilled video editor, create some things where I can create a little demo, introduce a new website and kind of talk about it live, and then, add a little image of the, of the site right there, kind of go through some things and talk about it. So I like Video Shop for that reason. Just a quick guide for the non-video editor to create some videos. And Video Hands is similar. That's a paid app, not too much, a couple bucks. And again, allows you to do some kind of creative things. You can do some music overlays and text on those types of pieces, but more in the mobile arena. But that's a lot of the way I like to go for quick, short videos.
Cool. I'll have to check that out. I'll mention one other one and then talk about some of the legalities with the music behind. We actually, a hospital asked us to do a video, and they wanted to use Girls Just Want to Have Fun as the music. And we're like, well, we were trying to find royalty free. The key is that just like photos need to have, royalty free or the credits with it, Creative Commons license, you need to also have the same for music. So there are some spots where you can buy royalty free music. And I'm going to list those into the notes, but some are Premium Beat is one of our favorites that we use a lot. Audio Jungle. That's another one. And then also if you want to create like animated characters that represent like people in your company or to tell the story, like the whiteboard style videos that are really popular, we've used Go Animate to do that.
Okay.
And that is a really fun tool that allows you to change the characters, make them look like people that are in your office. You can choose the voice, ethnicity, like the feeling that you want them to portray. I mean, it really helps you feel like you are
with the whiteboard kind of model there.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I haven't explored that one. So that's a brand new one for me. And
so their packages are about $75 a month. But you can try it out for free.
So when you say you can have characters like your team members, something like that, I mean, so it's a stick figure, but like what, Terrence's head on top of that or what? I mean,
no, so it looks like a cartoon character and you can literally like kind of like Bitmoji or something. Caricature. Yeah. So like Bitmoji, you can change like the features and, say, okay, well, I want to give him this kind of haircut. And I mean, they even let us create my haircut, which is kind of hard to do. So
there you go.
But yeah, it's a fun tool. We've used it for a few clients to help tell their story. We used it for Paperly and a couple others that they loved it. It was it really helped explain what their app was in an engaging way.
Mine's pretty simple to kind of keep track of in that regard, but yours you have a little bit more style and unique.
Different shape, Yeah. So you mentioned some of the phone apps. I think that's important too for people that are on the go, especially solopreneurs or people that are traveling that want to create moments on the go. So the phone one's great. There's a couple others that I definitely use all the time, especially at conferences or, just while you're waiting around. I like Flipagram and WordSwag are my two favorites. WordSwag, you can take one of the images like we talked about, like if you're on the go and taking a bunch of photos like from your surroundings, and you can put text on top of it. So like if you're at a conference, for example, if you're taking a picture of the person speaking and you want to quote them, like something that they said that was powerful, you can put their text on top of their quote on top and then tweet it out mention them, it's a great way of kind of making that connection and getting it reshared.
Yep. And you mentioned like on the go, and I would just add to that it's kind of a go-to for me. I mean, I just use that as a tool. I will stop at my desk, and work on an image on my mobile device to share on social, just because they give me some tools like that. So I think WordSwag, like you mentioned, I use another one called Quick, which is a mobile app and on the iPhone, and I've used Flipagram as well. So again, Flipagram, I mean, even to be able to create like little slideshow videos that way with images.
Yeah, I was gonna say you use that quite a bit, a lot more than I do, like with Flipagram.
Yep. Cool. And I think that again, practical ways. You just gave one example if you're at a conference, but think about this: how many times does your company go to a trade show? You want to get some word out about your booth. Typically, a trade show is going to have a hashtag. So, you take a picture of your team at your booth with somebody, you add a little bit of the hashtag with it, you get that out there, you add a little text, come visit us, whatever it is, and you can begin, making a splash. That's a lot of trade shows, conferences, and events now, where you're attending or where you are presenting or where, you have a booth. They have those hashtags. And so you can begin to just kind of integrate more and draw a little attention. You want to stand out from the crowd in that.
Yeah, and Flipagram has a cool feature where it integrates with Facebook and Twitter too. I mean, WordSwag does too, but this one, it's posting that right there, and you could tag all the people that you know that's in that video. So it's a great way of instantly driving back that traffic. Plus, it's kind of like a social network inside of the app itself, so you can follow others and see what they're flipogramming, if that's the word, on their app as well to connect that way.
And it's funny how little things can make a difference. So I was going back to that trade show, we had a booth at a Chamber of Commerce event, and, there was some other folks that came through. They had a booth and they were using a Star Wars theme. So they were all dressed up, with Princess Leia and, all the characters, Jedis and things like that. So when they came by our booth, we took pictures of our booth with them in it, and you post that out there, and then that started getting attention. People, hey, what's going on? Okay, we'll come see our booth, that type of thing. So, we're just playing on the moment, what's happening around us, but getting our branding, our booth involved.
That's cool. I think you did something similar, like the social media week conference that we do, where you take some pictures with ET and stuff and put it out there.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm going to put some of these on here. That's cool. I'm going to have to try out the other one that you had mentioned. What did you say that name was with the Quick? Quick.
Yeah. Just simply QUICK for a mobile app on iPhone.
Very cool. I'm going to try that one out for sure. Okay.
Now, and again, I mean, we're going to get into some that you can do on the desktop as well, but another one that's kind of both and is Aviary, Aviary. So I use that on a mobile device as well.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Aviary lets you, like, let's say you took an image, but it wasn't like bright enough in the background. You can change that to make it brighter. Focus in. Maybe you had a group of people, but you really wanted to focus in on two. You can focus in. Make touch ups. So ladies out there, if you want to touch it up, or anyone really, you can touch up your makeup, or blend things the way that you want. You can blur things out. So we've actually had where you're taking a photo of a vehicle, but you don't want to post like the license plate, of course, or sharing an example of a testimonial, and you don't want to maybe put the name of the person at the top or whatever it is. So you can blur different pieces of the image out to make it usable then in that way.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I use that one quite a bit. Canva, of course, for iPhone. A new one though that I'm in love with, and I think you've used this too, Mike, is Prisma. Have you heard of it?
I have not. No, that one's new to me.
Okay. So Prisma allows you to kind of make works of art out of your photos that you have. So you take an image and then you put it into Prisma, and it'll give you like Van Gogh's like Starry Night version of your image, or a black and white, but it makes it like, if you've ever seen images that are like pieces or look like a puzzle piece, or different kinds of, maybe it's graffiti that you want to turn your image into, like Prisma's free. It does have like their logo at
Logo
the
everywhere,
bottom.
yeah. Okay.
But you can also purchase to have that removed, but it allows you to
Now again, mobile or desktop?
It's mobile.
Okay.
Yep, mobile. So it's really fun to change up. So maybe your image, maybe you don't feel is like that fun, but you want to post it. And you can take the image, put it into Prisma. It makes it really interesting looking, and then post it that way. And they have about 36, I would say, different variations that you can do of the image to give it the right feel that you want for your company.
Definitely going to check that one out. Yes.
Yeah. That one, once you check it out, Mike, you'll be like, oh, that's how they were doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
And all these other images that have been posted with it. But yeah, Prisma is really, really cool. That one's fun. The one that hasn't been used quite as often, but I still find myself sometimes going there, is PicMonkey. Like, it used to be like the go-to. I feel like they haven't evolved in a while, but if you do want to make a collage that's like long ways, and we've used this, for example, so we had a jewelry store company that we said, hey, finish this outfit. So we had a woman standing there with an outfit, and then had different accessories of jewelry, like as a collage, and said, which one would you finish this outfit with? And like had A with the first piece, and B with the second, and C with the third. And then we would create images like that every week to get people to kind of engage with the post. So it made it a lot easier to do that when it was in that collage.
Okay. Excellent. Very good. I mean, again, folks, all these things are just to try to give you some tips, give you some ideas, because we need to evolve visually, and just important for your business to think about that. If you want to have any relevance on social media, you got to evolve visually. And even more so now, just for your website, the content, the stickiness, you know it, I know, we're all busy. We're all fighting to get things done. And when something captures our attention, we go look at it. Again, it has to capture our attention, or else we move on. And so you want to do this, to move into the visual realm for the content, the social.
Yeah. The last thing I'll mention on that too, to kind of tee off what you're talking about, is that Facebook now knows this. So they're allowing you to put products and feature those images right within your actual business Facebook page. So you can actually feature under services. You can list, your products or services, and ask you to put an image beside that. And then you can tag different things within that image. So then when you're making a post, you can actually tag that service or that product in your post, and it will take them back to grab the image that you've listed there. So it's really, we just actually shared a video on this, and I'll make sure to share it on the Magnet Marketers page so everyone can see how that's done. But everything is driven visually now. I mean, it's just something that's going to enhance, like what you said, what you're already doing, and making your time worth it. So very cool. Well, wow, that was like a really fast 45 minutes.
It just did. It blew through it.
Bam. We're in there. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up and talk about next week. So next week, I'm super excited. We are going to be talking about virtual reality and what it means for businesses, how you can get involved. Actually, Facebook yesterday just shared something on Facebook and virtual reality. So it's very timely that we're talking about this and creative ways that it's being used. Not just virtual reality, but also some 360 that we're going to tie in there. So we're going to pick some people's brains that are really immersed in the VR space and find out how they're using it, some creative uses of what it's already out there, and how you can kind of stay up and figure out how you want to get that incorporated potentially into what you're doing with your business.
Leading edge. That's what it is.
That's right. So it'll be next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be streaming right here live from Facebook and Huzza. Thanks, Mike, so much for your time today.
Hey, thank you. You have a good day. Have a good weekend, folks.
All right. You as well. All right. See ya.